Hey everybody, I hope you're having a good day. I have my oracle deck here. I'm going to shuffle while I talk. Just a little warning, my window is open, so if you hear some crazy noises, it is definitely coming from outside. It's another really nice day here today, and then I also was bright enough that I don't have to use my ring light. If you've watched the last few videos, then you know about the ring light saga, and so we are just using the wooden table today, switching it back, seeing how things go. Today we're talking about family, and just to give you some insight into your family situation, I don't know, maybe you've been experiencing some drama, maybe you're just curious, maybe you have had issues with people in your family, maybe you feel like there's some like generational stuff you've been wanting to work through. All of those things this spread will be helpful for. We're using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot and the spread from that, which I've used a few times before on the channel to give people insight into things. It does give you a lot of information. It gives you your energy, conscious mind, unconscious mind, past blockages, a guiding energy, an expressive energy, and then 2 cards for the future. So we'll get all of that information today. And you can use the crystal, the animal, or the like little phrase on the bottom to help guide you to your reading today. Let me put those back. Pick whatever feels right, and hopefully this reading gives you some additional insight. Let's see what we have here. Okay, once I have all the cards, I'll go through them and read things off for you. So 4 crystals for you to pick from today. That's the second time I've seen this one, so I'll accept that. 4 crystals here today and 4 animal cards. So the first one is Japanese macaque. Remember the importance of play. Next we have sea pen, we are all interconnected. And then we have Andean condor, work has value if viewed with the right mindset. And lastly we have sea cucumber. You can't control situations, but you can control your reaction. That's definitely a phrase commonly seen with like therapy practices. If you've been in therapy, maybe you know all about that. Anyways, besides the point. See which reading is calling out to you, maybe the animal speaking to you, maybe the phrase, and feel free to head to your reading, and I will see you there. Hey guys, welcome to reading number 1. You can see the crystal on the left, and the card was Japanese macaque. Remember the importance of play. I think to me that maybe is like family life for you is very serious. So let's see what's going on in the cards and see what information we get. Remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. So I might offer a few different interpretations of the cards. Just because this is more of a collective reading, you should just take the one that sounds right to you and sounds like it fits your situation and just kind of ignore the rest of the interpretations. So let's get into it. We're going to start with your energy. The hero. Okay. I think you do a lot for your family. Like the guardian, the protector. Whenever somebody needs you, you always step up and you give a lot of yourself to your family. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I could see how this could kind of, if you take this to an extreme, I could see that means that you're depleting yourself in order to help people in your family, and that might not necessarily be a good thing. Let's take a look at, oh, windows open. I don't know if you can hear those cars driving by. Anyways, let's do conscious energy. Okay, 7 of fire. I think in your consciously, this is like the conscious mind in this spread. So this is like you're thinking a lot about following your gut, developing and heeding your intuition. If you've been getting a lot of gut feelings about something, you know, you're curious to explore that more. Maybe you've also noticed some patterns within your family, patterns of behavior, patterns of events. You started taking note of things repeating themselves, and maybe you're wanting to explore that a little bit more. Let's take a look at unconscious. Okay. This is definitely in the back of your mind, so it's not something that you're thinking about or acknowledging a lot, but it is there, it is happening. And the desire card, you want things. You want things for yourself. You maybe even want something to change, but you're not maybe actively acknowledging those desires, perhaps because the desires are for yourself in your own life, and your energy is definitely focused on your family and other people rather than yourself. because this is a very selfless card. Let's jump down to, let's go over here. This is the past, something from the past that is still affecting, your present situation. Queen of Water reversed. So I don't think that this is you, because this, water and fire are opposite kind of energies. I think this could be a feminine person in your life, maybe even a mother figure. This person uses love as a weapon. So they'll be very loving and they'll be very kind when kind of you're doing what they want you to do, or you're giving stuff to them. But then once they're angry about what you're doing and they don't like what you're doing, they'll remove the love and withdraw the love and use it as a weapon. Might also be a very emotional person, and sometimes dealing with very emotional people can be very taxing. Let's take a look at the blockage. So this is something that's blocking you from your highest self when it comes to the family. And we have the Crone card. Okay, so perhaps this person, somebody is restricting you and holding you back. They might even be putting you down, and that energy is really holding you back. Let's take a look at, this is a guidance card. So the guiding energy for you that will help clear this blockage and help you move forward from it. Death/rebirth. Okay, so if you do want something to change, it's time to embrace the change, embrace your desires, let go of your past, and be reborn. This is a rebirth card as well. Be reborn into something new. Let's take a look at the expression card, because this might give us some more context about how you can deal with this. Okay, Ten of Fire. That makes a lot of sense. So what will aid you in this situation is mastery of the self, mastery of craft. So understanding yourself a little bit more, understanding what you want, maybe take these desires out of the unconscious and maybe put some conscious energy into them. Really think about who you are and what you want, and if you are, have a skill, a trade, or something that you do for work or career, focus on mastering that. Master even your hobbies, because that will just give you a lot of self-confidence. You'll feel like you're in control of your life. It'll help you take command of your life, and it will help you take responsibility. Definitely focus on taking responsibility for the actions that you take, and kind of how you've ended up in the situation that you're in, because things don't just happen to us. We play a role in everything that goes on. And so understanding the role that you've played in order to end up where you end up might actually help you. But I do think mastering a craft, mastering yourself will give you the self-confidence to really be okay, I don't have to be under anybody's thumb. I am my own person and I can take care of myself and everything will be okay. Anyways, okay, let's take a look at the near future. King of Fire. Okay, so I am getting the vibe that you are going to be evolving in the near future, because the hero is definitely a lesser vibe versus the King of Fire is just an evolved version of that, because the King of Fire doesn't give everything away for the sake of other people. The King of Fire focuses on their passion and their desires. They take charge of their life. They have courage. They take care of the people around them. But the King of Fire does not, give everything away. They still hold on to their personal power. And so I think you are starting this journey, and it's actually, you're going to start to see the results in yourself very quickly, because this is the next coming weeks. Let's take a look at the long-term future. King of Air reversed. So as you start this journey of getting in touch with your personal power, mastering yourself, mastering your craft, understanding what you want, going through those changes in order to get what you want, someone might try to bring you down. So the King of Air reversed is someone who will cut people down. They play mind games. They're going to make you second guess yourself and second guess the things that you're doing. The key to this is going to be protecting yourself. And I think if you are working on this, mastering yourself, mastering a craft, you're going to feel very confident in yourself and what you're doing, and you will be able to tackle this head on and it won't affect you as much. Okay, I can see here where the importance of play kind of comes along, because maybe you just want to have more fun. Maybe you just don't want things to be so serious and be tied down by people all the time. Anyways, yeah, okay. I hope that this reading resonated for you. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you have like any questions about this or want any clarifications. I'm happy to answer additional questions if you would like. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm a new channel, so that helps me out, and I hope that you'll join me again in a future video. Welcome to reading number 2. You can see the crystal on the left, and your card was Sea Pen. We are all interconnected. I'm kind of getting the inkling from that there could be some themes about generational issues here, or perhaps there could be a theme about separation versus connection. I'm excited to get into it. Let's see what we have. Let's take a look at your energy right now in your family life. Oh, before I explain this, remember to take what resonates and leave the rest, because this is like a collective reading. I might give a few interpretations of the card. They might not all apply to you, so just take the one that's applying and just kind of ignore the others. Okay, so your energy right now is wisdom. I think you have been on a journey of like discovery, self-explanation. The window's open. I'm sorry if there's a ton of noise happening. I think you kind of are acknowledging that you don't know everything, but you've been willing to explore and seek things out. This imagery is very similar to the imagery of the Hermit card, so maybe you've been kind of withdrawing from your family and spending a little bit more time on your own. That Sea Pen thing. Okay, let's take a look at your conscious mind. 2 of Earth. Okay, definitely thinking a lot about balance. That even just could be how to balance yourself, like the self and the family, balancing those 2 things, trying to maybe even balance the responsibilities that you have towards your family versus your own personal needs. Sometimes there's a big expectation of that we need to take care of our family, sometimes even to the point where we neglect ourselves. And maybe you've been thinking about that a lot and trying to find the balance between the 2. This card can also indicate some stress, because it's a juggling act. You're worried that you might drop one of the things. Let's take a look at your unconscious mind. Ace of Earth. Okay, so this is not something that you're actively thinking about, but I think deep down you do want a change. You do want a new beginning. You want a new opportunity. Perhaps one might have been presented to you already and you're kind of considering it, but you're maybe not really taking it seriously. Or it could just be that you want a change to happen in your family, because the suit of Earth can represent, family issues and things like that. Let's take a look at your past that's impacting the Sage. Very similar energy. I think you may have been on this journey for a while, but in the past, you maybe were thinking a little bit more about tradition, the things that have been handed down through the generations in your family, what your family traditions are, maybe even generational trauma. Perhaps you've been exploring your cultural heritage, learning the language that was spoken by your family in the past, or just learning more about those cultural practices, looking into the past in general, maybe even, again, focusing more on behavioral patterns that are being passed down, thinking about the things that have been passed down through generations. I think you've probably, that's what's fueling this journey, or you've been on this journey for a while. Very similar energies. You can even see it in the cards. The imagery is very similar. Let's take a look at a blockage here. 9 of Fire. Interesting. Okay, so I think you might be burying yourself under the weight of things that are just unnecessary. I think you may be making things more complicated than they really are, and you're taking on things that aren't even yours, like trying to solve problems that aren't even yours, that kind of a thing, and that is just kind of holding you back. This taking on things that aren't yours, and the unnecessary complications. Let's take a look at the guiding energy that might help you clear that blockage. 8 of Water. You need to shift. Instead of trying to take on things that aren't yours and making things more complicated, you instead should shift into gratitude. Approach life with the mindset of things are going to be great. We're all going to be happy. Take the time to laugh like I just did. That's funny. Enjoy your family and, focus on the things that are good. Just try to focus on enjoying things, putting yourself into a gratitude headspace instead of focusing on all the things that are wrong or going poorly will really change your life. Let's take a look at expressive energy. So this is something that, if you kind of unlock this, then you'll really, figure out a whole new direction for like the journey with your family to take. And for you, that's love. And I think it's embracing all forms of love. Horn, I don't know. The fact that you hear the honking outside, perhaps that's maybe emphasizing my point. Love is expressed and shown in different ways by different people, and embracing all forms of love, understanding that perhaps other people are acting with the intention of love, and loving, like unconditional love means loving the good and the bad, and loving yourself for the good things and the bad things. Expand in general your idea of what love is and how love can be expressed. I think you might have you might think that love should be expressed in a particular way. Maybe that's because it's how you express love, and when other people don't align with what your expectation is, then you might become hurt. So just expanding that idea of what love is. I feel like I'm talking in circles. Anyways, okay, let's take a look at the near future for you. Okay, so it looks like this whole transformation is going to be starting in the next few weeks, because I think in the near future, you might kind of realize that there's a conflict between what you believe and what's actually real. So perhaps, you're going to put some of these pieces together in the next few weeks, and like you're going to actually see things for what they are. People in your family might be trying to work with you and help you improve, but you might not take it very well. You might take it as criticism, or take it as like people are attacking you, and that's not really what the intention is, right? Which we discussed over here. And I think in the next few weeks, you might start to put all these pieces together and realize what the reality is, and you might be more willing to show your true self and open your eyes up to things. Like, this is definitely like embracing a little bit more self-love and taking the mask off and just like really getting in touch with the reality of things. Let's take a look at the long-term future. Ace of Air. Okay, you are on a journey towards a mindset shift. And in the long term, your perspective towards your family definitely is going to shift, and it's going to change. You're going to be unlearning things and letting things go. And you're going to come to a point where you are comfortable with your personal truths and understanding what is yours, especially if you've been looking at, the generational things that are being handed down and taking on things that aren't yours. You're going to have an idea of what is yours and what your personal truth is, and you're going to be more aligned with that, and it's going to change the way that you think and approach and your perspective on life. Okay, this is a lot. I hope that this reading resonated for you. If you have any additional questions, like you want clarifications about things that you see here, let me know in the comments. I'm definitely happy to answer those questions. I hope that the reading resonated. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm a new channel, so that really helps me out. And I hope you'll join me again in a future video. Welcome to reading number 3. You can see the rose quartz on the left, and the card is the Andean condor. All work has value if viewed with the right mindset. I'm interested to see how this theme plays out. If you notice any connections between this card and the rest of them, feel free to put it in the comments, especially if I don't mention it. I would love to know about it. Remember to take what resonates here and leave the rest. I might give a few interpretations of each card just because this is kind of a collective reading. So just take the one that you feel like is applying to you and ignore the rest. We're going to do a deep dive into your family situation. This can be whatever family it's sounding like to you. It doesn't have to be like, it could be your family of origin. It could be the family that you created, any of the above. All right, let's take a look. We're going to start with your energy. 9 of Earth. Okay, there might be some harmony and some happiness in your family life right now, but I think it's because you're putting a lot of energy into it and you're giving a lot. You're in like a very selfless mindset. You want to give to the people in your family in order to keep the harmony, keep the happiness, and make it work. Let's take a look at your conscious mind. Wisdom reversed. Okay. Despite the harmony and the happiness or whatever that's going on, I think in your conscious mind, there's some judgment going on. I think you do want you have your own needs and your own wants, and like in your mind you're like, I want to put myself first, I want to do what's right for me, and you're maybe questioning that, and then you're like, oh gosh, no, I can't do that, like I should be helping my family and doing things for my family, I can't put myself first. And I think you're just kind of like thinking about and reflecting on your darker side, maybe even looking towards your past, reflecting on your past, because you can see this, the lantern is kind of pointed that way. Let's take a look at your unconscious, I'm sorry. So this is going on kind of in the back of your mind. You're not thinking about it like all the time, but it is on your mind a little bit. Thinking a lot about structure, order, routine with the 4 of air. Like, okay, 4 to 6, I'm spending time with this person. 6 to 7, I need to take this person to their activity. Like things like that. Thinking a lot about your schedule, a lot about the structure, a lot about the order in the back of your mind. Like acknowledging that there's just a lot of routine to your life, your family life in particular. Let's take a look at something from your past. Yep, something from your past. 4 of fire. Okay, so I think in the past you were very focused, very disciplined, very dedicated. I think this could be towards your family, or this could be about yourself, because the 4 of fire is like fire is definitely more of like a work action type of a suit in this deck. So this could be you were very focused and disciplined and dedicated to your own goals. You had things you wanted to achieve, and maybe now you've achieved them, so you feel this pressure to give back to your family because maybe they supported you when you were on this. Or it could be that you had goals that you wanted to achieve in terms of family life. Maybe you really wanted to get married or have kids or things like that, and like you were very focused on that in the past, and now you've achieved it, so now you feel like, you know, you want to put in the work towards it. Let's take a look at a blockage. So this is something that's kind of holding you back, stopping your growth. The 8 of fire. Okay, I think you're holding yourself back from some kind of a transformation. Like an evolution needs to happen, but you're stopping yourself from doing it. And the answer, oh my gosh, outside is being particularly noisy. I'm sorry if you can hear it. Some music, the car going by. Okay, so the answer into what area of life is going to need that transformation is in the things you're not making time for, whatever that means to you. So whatever you're not giving enough time to is an area of life that needs to transform, and because you're not giving time to it, you're holding yourself back. Let's take a look at a guiding energy to help you break this blockage. I would definitely listen to the advice that's in this card to help get rid of this blockage here. Wow, that's destiny. Okay, I think if you seek out your purpose, you know, that will help you with that transformation. But destiny in general is like, let go and let God. Let God, so let the universe, you know, whatever higher power you believe in. I don't think that there's much that you need to do. You just kind of have to have an understanding of like, okay, I'm going to do what I can, but ultimately it's up to the higher powers, and the way that things will play out is the way that they're meant to be. So kind of letting go, like, because this is definitely an energy of like, I'm going to take a lot of action. I'm going to put a lot of work into it. I'm going to make my life the way that I want it to be. And this is definitely like, okay, you know, you got to let go and like have some confidence that things will be okay, and allow kind of this transformation to just happen and stop trying to stop it. Let's take a look at, this is expressive energy. So if you kind of figure this card out, then you might unlock a whole new direction in your family life. 2 things that this union card could mean. If you are in a marriage or have a partner, then, you know, putting energy into the union, into the marriage, into the partnership. Alternatively, this could be about integrating yourself, especially if you're thinking more so about like your darker urges, your darker impulses, you know, understanding, integrating the light and the dark, integrating that, accepting yourself for who you are truly, but also maybe understanding that you are a whole, complete person on your own. You know, you don't need other people to complete you or make you whole. You are a whole person on your own, and understanding that might also help you here. So a few different things. You're just gonna have to take the one that sounds right. Let's take a look at the near future. Interesting. 10 of air. Okay, so there is going to be a moment in the near future of liberation, of independence. You're going to feel more comfortable walking your own path and kind of like doing your own thing in the near future, and you're just going to kind of like do what you want. This is definitely like an energy of going off on your own, putting more energy into yourself. Let's take a look at the long-term future. Okay. You might take this a little too far. Be careful of that. Do what you want and follow your path, but don't do it to the point where you're really hurting other people and neglecting the other people in your life. Don't seek out instant gratification, and don't do the things that are easy, like following that little devil voice in your mind. Okay, I hope the reading resonated. Feel free, if you have any other questions or you want some clarification, you can put that down in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm a new channel and that really helps me out. And I hope you'll join me again in a future video. All right, welcome to reading number 4. You can see the crystal on the left, and the oracle card was the sea cucumber. You can't control situations, but you can control your reactions. Based on that, buckle in. Be ready to hear some things that might be difficult to hear based on that oracle card. Remember, as we go through this, take what resonates here and leave the rest. So I might offer a few interpretations of things just because this is a collective reading. Not everything might be meant for you. So take the things that are applying to your situation and ignore the rest because it might be for a different viewer. We're going to take a deep dive into your family situation. This can be any family. Like it can be, your partner and children. It could be your family of origin. It could be chosen family. It could be anything that you define as your family. Let's take a look at your energy. Ooh, 5 of fire reversed. Okay. Maybe have experienced some conflict recently, or maybe you're in conflict right now with somebody in your family. I do have an entire different video on that. Let me link it for you so you can go check it out, or you can seek it out on the channel. But I do think in terms of this conflict, you think you're right about it, and you kind of just want the other person to be quiet and stop because you think that you're in the right and you think that you are correct in this situation. Let's take a look at, let's do unconscious mind. Perception reversed, interesting, okay. This is your unconscious mind, so something kind of more in the back of your mind. You're not really actively thinking about it or focusing on it. Your perception about something is wrong, and you know it's wrong. You maybe just don't want to acknowledge it. Sorry, the window's open. But it's in the back of your mind. You may be kind of burying it, but you know that your perception about something is wrong. Let's take a look at your unconscious mind. Your conscious mind. 10 of air. Okay, so you're definitely thinking about independence, going your own way, separating. You're like, I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to do what makes me happy, even if it makes me kind of like an outcast or a black sheep. That's really what you're thinking about. You're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your own goals. Not necessarily bad. Like the 10 of fire is like walking into your the 10 of air is like walking into your personal truth and not being afraid of it. Let's take a look at something in the past that's affecting things. Interesting. Ace of water. I think in the past you had this new emotional connection. It could be romantic, could be friendship, it could be anything like that. But that has impacted the dynamics with your family, that new emotional connection. Very interesting, very interesting. Let's take a look at the blockage. King of fire. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. I think what's really holding you back in this situation, and maybe in your family in general, you might have a little bit of a temper. And I think like getting really angry about stuff, maybe even to the point of being aggressive and like thinking that you're right and that you know better than everybody. And that maybe is what's happened with this conflict here. Like this blockage has put you into that headspace. Like these are very similar energies. Let's take a look at the guiding energy that might help you clear this blockage or, deal with that. Queen of fire. Okay, go from a lion to the cat. I think you gotta tame the beast a little bit. Like the Queen of fire, you have to come from a place that's a little bit more optimistic and positive, and like try to seek out pleasure in life. Enjoy your life. Seek out the things that are making you happy. Like don't focus on the things that are triggering your anger or triggering your temper. And the Queen of Fire is also very sociable. So like seek people out who will help you enjoy life and help give you that perspective and just make you happy, and try to be a little bit more present when you're in those happy moments. Let's take a look at this expressive energy. This is something that, like, you know, if you figure it out, you'll unlock a whole new direction. Wisdom, very interesting. So that's, maybe you're in some kind of a cycle here with your family, and like these cycles might be repeating themselves, and like it's time to examine that cycle a little bit more closely and figure out how you can break it. Reflect on your own past, reflect on your maybe like darker impulses, and learn from the mistakes that you've made, learn from the choices that you've made, understand yourself a little bit deeper, you know, and figure out how to move forward and figure out your way forward. Let's take a look at the near future. 5 of Water reversed. Okay. So I think because of whatever is happening here in the near future, you might end up like feeling a little bit hard done by. You might be kind of like swept up in those emotions related to this conflict. And, you know, you don't want to become like, you might end up becoming kind of trapped in this situation. Even though like time will have moved forward, you might end up kind of trapped here. And because of that, you might still keep lashing out because this situation kind of hasn't really been resolved. And like the 5 of Water is like about experiencing these like deep emotions of like loss and like grief and things like that. And you don't want to like ignore it or let it get to the point where you do kind of get stuck in the past and you're lashing out because, you know, these emotions haven't really been dealt with. Let's take a look at the long-term future. Okay. If you take heed of everything that was talked about here and you actually do work on these things, really good things are waiting for you in the long-term future. The 10 of Earth is like harmony, reward. You're going to have a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the world and what your purpose is. And you're going to be able to come together with the people that you love and like celebrate. Like everything in life will kind of come together in this harmonious way. Career, love, family, like everything is just kind of going to resolve. But you do have to take the steps to work on these things in order to get here. Things will work out in the end. You just kind of have to do your part right now, even if things seem really difficult. I wish you the best with this situation. If you have any clarifying questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm a new channel, so that really helps me out. And thank you for joining me today. I hope I'll see you again in a future video.